Ted's dough. Take one.
Alright. One of these, which is, if you don't use a package, roughly a tablespoon of yeast.
Yeast,
One of those little jars of yeast, if you want to buy that. A tablespoon of salt. I'm doing this. Yeah, actually, sometimes I think that sounds just like a little too much, so I go a little shy of that. And then you want 3 cups of water, and you want it warm, so I put it in the microwave for 45 seconds on high. And you have the same microwave as I, right? So that should work out for you as well. Sometimes if it's just a hair over 3 cups, I think that's good, because slightly wetter is always better with dough usually. So 45 seconds, and the only other tool you need other than that bowl is a fork. And that's it. So hang on, 45 seconds, and you basically just stir it up with that fork until the flour is incorporated and you don't see it separated in little clumps here and there. It's not going to be a nice mass. It's still going to be shaggy and separated into shards of dough. It's not going to be one big ball. You shouldn't have worked it that long. You want to just barely incorporate everything and stop immediately. So 25 seconds. Boom. Now, I said the fork is the only other thing you need, and it is true you could do that with a fork, but I do think that a whisk makes it a lot quicker. But it's not turning up, so it is going to be a fork. Just going to separate that. And you don't really wait at all for this. A lot of recipes will talk about proofing the yeast. Don't do that. That's it. Ordinarily I would have taken a whisk and those clumps would have broken up, but it's not essential. Then you want to add in 6.5 cups of flour, and I'm not picky about how I measure this. Scoop and then shake it side by side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I eyeball the half. Now, just using my own judgment. Fork, and it should, here, just watch as this comes together. It really is not going to end up anything more than kind of a shaggy mess. But as it rises, which takes about 2 hours minimum, it'll all come together and form one mass.
In the bowl itself?
Yeah, you're just going to cover this and leave it at room temperature. Now you see it's almost there. When I say all the flour, see, there's no piles of flour anymore. It's not a beautiful singular ball of dough, but it's mixed, and that's it. Stop right there. Now I would get that off too. Soak this immediately, or you're going to kick yourself later. Soak everything with the dough in, and that's it. I just cover it up with aluminum foil, and that's it. That's the dough. This sits for 2 hours. After that, you throw it into the refrigerator. I use something like this to store it in because you can vent it right through here. They usually have tops that you can turn so that that's open or closed. It's good for venting the dough. You barely need any vent though, just a tiny slit. And that's it. So I'm going to cover that up and let it sit for 2 hours.
leave
doesn't
it right.
have to be a hermetically sealed
Okay.
container or anything. Just
You just leave it out right there.
yes, it's somewhere that's not too breezy.
For 2
Somewhere that's not
hours?
going to get too hot or too cold.
Now you have it popped up over there. Do you leave it venting a little bit on purpose?
Yeah, that wouldn't bother it, but you can
Okay.
go like that.
Okay.
And that's it.